Now that we've started our sheet metal part and inserted it into our printer assembly, we can now design the rest of the bracket in context to the rest of this assembly. One of the first things we want to do is find out the distance between the bracket and the printer body assembly. We'll use the measure command to measure the distance between the two mounting faces. That distance is 13.57 millimeters. And now we can double click our part to edit it and use the sheet metal features to create the rest of our bracket. From the marking menu, we'll select the flange tool and select the bottom edge for our first flange. We'll enter the distance of 13.57 millimeters for the flange length, and then expand the options and select the width option and set the width of our flange to 18 millimeters and offset from the front edge 21.5 millimeters. We'll select OK and create this first flange. We'll start the flange command again and then select this edge, and this time we want to flip the direction by selecting the flip option. We'll select our distance for 7.5 millimeters and then expand the options, selecting the width option and set the width for 11 millimeters, and this time we'll select this option to be centered on that original flange that we just created in the last step. We'll select OK to create that flange. Now we can start flanges on the top side. Again, starting the flange command, we'll select at the top edge, and then we'll enter in a length distance again of 13.57. The width this time will be 20.5 millimeters. And then we'll set an offset distance from the front edge, and this one will make 20.5 millimeters. Notice this time that the flange is off the part, and we can simply select the flip option to place it back where it needs to be based upon our selection for the offset. Again, we'll start the flange command one more time, and then now we'll select this edge. Again, we'll flip the option, set our length for, we'll set our flange length for 8 millimeters, and in our options we'll select width. We'll set the width for 8 millimeters, and we'll set the offset from the edge of the flange 9.5 millimeters. We'll select the edge of our previous flange for the offset, and then we can select OK. We want to create one more flange which will actually stick through the body of the printer assembly. So we'll select this edge for our flange, and in this case we actually want this to be a 0-degree angle. We'll set the length for 3 millimeters, and then in our options we'll select width, and then we'll set this to a width of 5 millimeters, and then for our offset we'll set a distance of 0 and select this back edge of our existing flange, and again we'll hit the flip option to put it in the right position and select OK. So that gives us our final flange, which is actually a straight flange. And so you'll notice that our last little flange there that actually sticks through the body of the printer assembly didn't exactly line up, and that's okay. We'll make an edit to the actual position of our flange. We'll take a measurement here. The measurement is 0.06. So then we can edit our constraint, and we'll shift this to -0.1, and now our flange actually lines up with that cutout in the side of the printer body. So there we've created several flanges to add in the distance between the mounting faces of the two parts of the printer body and the gear motor. Make sure you save your part before moving on to the next video in this project.